What's going on YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to talk about Absolute Batman issue number 21. This one is written by Scott Snyder with artwork by Nick Dragotta, and this one's got a lot of stuff going on here. We also get the big first confrontation between Batman, Bruce Wayne, and Joker / Jack Grim, and that was very interesting. It kind of caught me off guard that we were getting in at this point. It was rather unexpected, which I just gave away at the very beginning of this thing, but I thought that was kind of cool. And this issue picks up where the last one left off, where it's Bruce / Batman versus the mecha army of Robins, and he has to kind of outwit them, and he eventually kind of gets the upper hand and manages to escape, but the Robins cause all sorts of damage to the city in the process. And then we kind of flash back to moments where Bruce was working off his debt, and like his debt to kind of others under the Falcone like crime family and all that other stuff. So but Gordon's been kind of there as a mentor for him, as we kind of showcase in these like flashback sequences. And we also get like this cool moment where like these bat drones kind of save him too. That was kind of neat and all that too. And I like that we have like a bit of a history, it seems, between Alfred and Slade, which I'm sure will play out in subsequent issues. But then we kind of cut to the funeral of Jim Gordon, where Barbara Gordon is there. She's talking about the whole thing, what her dad meant, and all those like late nights and that together. And we get the first meeting between Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon. Now, Dick and Babs are pretty like famous, as being together within the main timeline universe, but this is a very different Barbara Gordon in here. I mean, you can just kind of look at appearance. She's definitely not like the same as she is in the main universe, but Dick is on this kind of mecha army like under the tutelage of Slade Wilson and Jack Grim, and he's kind of the one who doesn't really feel like the Robins are doing enough right. We kind of get like little bits of like the differences in their personality. Jason's definitely a little bit more of a hothead. Dick is kind of like seeing, well, maybe this isn't the right thing to kind of do. Maybe we should kind of look into things a little bit more. But he wants to bring the Batman to justice. He believes that Jack Grim is doing is the right thing, and there's going to be a bit of a conflict, but perhaps like the two of them will kind of get along later on in this subsequent run. So yeah, we got that going on there too. And then we have Two-Face and Riddler and Penguin or whatever. They're kind of like wanting to embrace their villainous nature of sorts, but the Killer Croc, Waylon Jones, is kind of there to kind of keep everybody in check, and like that includes Bruce, he says. So I thought that was kind of cool. Meanwhile, Bruce is off kind of like at his construction job, looking out over the sides, ready to kind of falter off or whatever. But then Jack Grim shows up, and it's like, finally we get to meet, and he's ready to punch him, but just with one hand he kind of catches it just like that in an instant, just to go and showcase how dangerous and how powerful Jack Grim really is. I mean, this is a really messed up version of the Joker in this universe, but he talks about how he created him, but with him, he doesn't want to die just yet. He's been far too interesting and far like too much fun to kind of have around him in this universe. And I thought that was kind of cool. Like, I mean, the whole Boo moment where he kind of shapeshifts into that, and Bruce is like, I'm not afraid of you. And then he shapeshifts into this like monster, whatever, as I call him, Joker, Epstein, Pennywise, or Jeps or whatever. Cause he's like, he's got the Joker in there. He's got the creepy like islands in that, and like the blood of children and all that other stuff, and then the whole Pennywise shape-shifting aspect too. Yeah, I mean, the Absolute Universe version of Joker, like the way he's kind of able to transform into this monster like that, is pretty horrifying and pretty memorable. But then the issue also ends where it seems we're getting the setup for Clayface in this thing too, and Jack Grim pretty much has the upper hand in this situation, and Batman's really out of his depths here with this particular like villain in this series right from the get-go. Just tries to punch him, and it just stopped instantly like it's nothing. And I thought that was cool. That was a good first confrontation between the two of them. It caught me off guard because it's not something I really expected to happen at this moment in time, but it made it all the more interesting because we've been waiting for this moment between Batman and Joker to inevitably meet each other in this universe. But Joker obviously knows who he is, but because he basically had a hand in creating him, but he also finds him really fascinating and adds a bit of excitement to his life since he's been around for so long. And I do want to kind of learn a little bit more of the origins of like Absolute Universe version of Joker. How do you kind of get to that point, like where he has kind of these powers or something along the lines of that? I don't know, just a fascinating character. So maybe he's a demon from hell, I don't know, but that's kind of a fascinating thing. I want to see that explored more in future issues too, and I wonder how you're going to go and compete against something like that. I mean, we've seen how much Batman struggled against the Absolute version of Bane, which was just absolutely ridiculous to a certain point. Like, it was just like, okay, this is a little excessive, but when you got Joker right then, he's always going to punch him and just nothing, just a pure evil, like psychotic character right here too. So, but yeah, I thought that confrontation was good. I like the artwork in this issue. I like how it laid the foundation to different things, such as like, you know, the Dick Grayson of the group, showcasing like Jason Todd's personality, showcasing where Babs is at in the whole situation, how she doesn't fully agree with what the Robins are doing, and you know, she's off on her own path of like vengeance or whatever, given what happened to her father. And you know, we have, you know, Waylon Jones there to kind of try and keep everybody in check with the other, you know, characters like Two-Face, Riddler, and Penguin and such, because like, you know, Bruce is still our friend. We can't just, you know, become something else. We got to kind of keep an eye on him and such. So I don't know, I like the different aspects of that. It was cool to see Batman face off against the Robins, and of course the first inevitable appearance with the Jack Grimm Joker character, the Absolute Joker, and all that too. So good stuff in this issue overall. Looking forward to seeing what they do in subsequent issues. And yeah, that's all I really have to say about this particular issue. What did you all think of it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit that bell for notifications, all that fun stuff, and I'll be back again. I think I got like 3 other DC books I got to catch up on, but I want to get this video done now and then get to work on some of those other ones. So hope everyone's having a nice day, and I'll see you all later. Peace out.